Going on, everybody? Patrick Kalmerton. I am just returning from a waterfowl trip, ducks, geese, all that other good stuff out in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. And I just want to go through a couple of things that struck me pretty hard, to be honest with you. Over the years, out in North Dakota was incredible, right? So some of my best hunts, since I've been, 12 years old, and probably before that, I was spending a lot of time out in the Devil's Lake area. And the one thing that has changed more than anything was how do you gain access to the property, right? So there's always that time where you had posted property, right? So you'd drive up, and when right here is the Ramsey County Courthouse, Devils Lake, North Dakota, from 2016. And then also once you start getting into the plots, so here's a plots book from 2019. And then here's another plots book from 2022. So anybody that is like me that had a lot of record and files, right? We had files upon files of who the landowner was, what their phone number was, what their address was. The courthouse, like the Ramsey County courthouse right here. Basically what that did was it told you who the property owner was, and then it was up to you. You either found the yellow book, or you traveled all over the place to find the driveway of which that person was, or you're stopping at local landowners. If you've seen a farmer out in the field, you'd walk out there. The days that you'd actually have the interaction of a conversation, and you'd walk out there and you introduce yourself, and you would have, going all the way back. I mean, we'd have cans of Torquay coffee, and we would have Johnsonville brats and Sheboygan hard rolls and aged cheddar cheese, the things that you can't get from the local grocery store back in the day. Now everybody has that stuff. Everybody has all of it, but you would go up and you'd shake a hand. And me as a kid, I wish my kid, and matter of fact, I still do it to this day. When my kids are along, I make them get out with me and talk to the landowners and thank them and appreciate all the hard work that they're doing on the land, and allowing us to utilize their efforts to be able to go hunting. But that's where it changes, right? The way that the world is now is completely different. Onyx has been probably the biggest revolutionary thing when it comes to, especially like places like Devils Lake, North Dakota, where you have the posted signs on the section corners of the landowners, but you can go in as a Onyx Elite member and turn on all the different layers, and you can see if it is electronically posted, which means you cannot hunt it without permission, which means you have to track down the landowner and talk to them if you want to proceed and enjoy those resources on that person's property. Then you also have to make sure, so there's a couple of different ways as you're driving around, and we do a lot of spotting. We'll find the highest point, we'll take out a vortex optics, and we'll be able to see long distances with our spotting scopes on our windows, and then we get our binoculars and all that other good stuff. And what we do is, we follow these geese or these ducks, and we find out what property they're on. If the property is not posted, if there is no posted signs on the corners, if there is no posted sign on electronically, being on Onyx, we'll have everything that's electronically posted. If none of that is posted, you are fair. As a non-resident, you are legal to go hunt that property without any conversation, without any asking permission, without anything. You are legally allowed to hunt. Now, if it is posted, being either physically or electronically, then you have to track down the landowner. And in Onyx, there is that option to be able to call up that landowner, see what the address is. Everything is posted right there, and you can just head on over there. So all of these things being back, like I said, I started going way back when, well before 2016, but these are just the hard copy books that I have that point all the section corners and all the other people out and all the plot lands and all that. But now we got more to the story, right? So now not only is it posted or electronically posted, now they have different zones, right? So you can only, as a non-resident hunter who is chasing waterfowl out in Devil's Lake, North Dakota, you have 6 different zones in the state of North Dakota, and you have to allocate what zone or tell them what zone when you buy your license. So if you're looking at Devil's Lake, right where Devil's Lake is, you have to the northeast, it's going to be the northeast quadrant. Then you got the north central quadrant that starts right just west of Devil's Lake, and it goes west a ways, and then you have the northwest quadrant, and the same thing down along the bottom, which starts, oh gosh, I forget what highway that is, but it's very clearly pointed out in the North Dakota, regulations, if you will, and you can go there, you can find out what zone you're going to be in. So if I plan to go to North Dakota and I'm going to hunt anywhere northeast of Devil's Lake, I'm going to be in the northeast quadrant or northeast section of that. And I can only hunt there for 7 days. So I'm going to hunt there 7 days. And then the next time I go to North Dakota or out to Devil's Lake, I'm going to pick probably the North Central, and I'm going to hunt that for the next 7 days. So you can only hunt 2 different zones for 7-day period. That way, it kind of makes it right with all the locals, and they can enjoy their property and their land and all that other good stuff. Now, here's the other kicker, right? There's another kicker to this whole deal. If I go out there and I know that I am only going to hunt for 7 days total, and I'm not going to go back out there. I'm busy with work. I can't get back out there. What I'm going to do at that point is I'm going to pick a location that is driving distance. So we stayed at Dakota Sunset Resort, and we picked that location because it was an hour to the east and an hour to the west, right? So they're kind of on that border where I can go to the northeast, I can go to the northwest, I can go southwest on the west side of Devil's Lake, and so I have 2 different zones at the exact same time in that 7-day period, and I can hunt either one of them. I don't have to go to the one if I have more hunting pressure up there, if I have more hunting pressure down there. I can flip-flop whatever I want to do because I have both zones in that 7-day period. And then also I can buy my pheasant license. I can shore fish from Devil's Lake, North Dakota, right along the shore. Devil's Lake has hundreds of miles that you can shore fish. And I already have my waders because I'm duck hunting. And I don't know if I'm going to have all that sheet water out in the fields because they had a tremendous amount of rain this year. I don't know if I'm going to do anything. And legally, I need to make sure that it's my responsibility. I need to make sure that I am within the limits and within my rights to be able to do different things. So if you don't have Onyx, get Onyx. It's going to save you a lot of time. Yes, there are still plat books and stuff like that you could probably go out and purchase and do different things. But I just wanted to jump on here. Over the years, man, there has been so much that changed. So pretty cool. Know your zones, know your regulations, make sure that you have all your legal stuff. And I'm done reminiscing now. Good luck hunting. Be safe out there.